Let's talk about phishing. What phishing is? Let's define this term first. According to Wikipedia definition, phishing is a criminally fraudulent process of attempting to acquire sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, credit card details by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communication. In more simple words, example of phishing can be fake websites that pretend to be, like, for example, original payment system where a victim unintentionally enter sensitive data. Phishing is an example of social engineering because attackers try to fool user, try to mimic original digital entity, for example, websites, so they look like original PayPal, Facebook, or Google services. So typically, the compromised services are online payment system, online banking systems, social network, because a user's account can be used, for example, for sending spam. In such a way, attackers can monetize this criminal activity. Also, victims sometimes receive messages from IT service providers. So in these messages, attackers typically ask to provide login and passwords because for some reason database has failed and IT provider has no data regarding this user. Of course, this is not true. If someone asks you to provide your login and password, or credit card details or PIN numbers, so that's for sure fake. And here you can see two web pages. One of them is phishing and another one is legitimate. Which one is phishing and which is original? We found three major attributes, signs of phishing websites. So first, it's not secured. It doesn't use HTTPS. Second, URL differs from the original, and yes, it can be considered like a suspicious website. And the third one is different user interface, which doesn't look like original. In this case, Google. And I have a video for you to show. I entered the phishing web page. As you can see, my browser Chrome detected as dangerous. Because the URL was scanned and added to the phishing databases and added to the blacklist and spread it between the security researchers. And I tried to enter my email and passwords, of course not real, to this form just to see what will happen. Then I click sign in button. And you can see it was marked like green, my password was correct. And I have another question to provide my phone number or recovery email. Then I enter some arbitrary data and click enter. So what I see now, the page redirected me to the original Google service, Google Drive, and here, the connection is secured, as you can see. The domain name is original, but the thing is I need to log in again. So this is one more suspicious sign. If you entered your credentials, and then you need to do it again. So there is a probability that you fell a victim of a phishing cyber attack. Another phishing techniques is instead of using domain, hackers use IP address in order to make it look like a legitimate URL. So they create hyperlink. So typically phishing emails, they are delivered in HTML format, so they can create hyperlink. The idea of hyperlink is you have this A tag where you can provide href value with the URL, and it includes IP address / PayPal subfolder and index.html. And then you have another part of the attack is text that will be shown to a user that will pretend to be original URL. So, and on the screen you can see the example of such attack. Another trick is using consonant DNS names. For example, I have original site privatebanking.mybank.com, where mybank.com is original domain name. It's a high-level domain name. And attackers can register privatebanking.com and add subdomain mybank. So it looks like original. So the only difference is that two subdomain, they are swapped in this URL. So how it works? So when a customer click on URL, it can be HTTP or HTTPS protocol, victim goes to fake website that is hosted on attacker's server. After victim entered some credentials to the phishing website, here is redirected to the real website. This is what we saw in the video. There are three types of phishing attacks: traditional, rockfish, and fast flukes. They differ on lifetime. The shortest lifetime traditional attack has, it is around 62 hours, and rockfish and fast fluke domains, they can last longer. So let's try to understand what is the difference between traditional, rockfish, and fast flukes phishing attack. Traditional phishing attacks is very simple. So once a victim clicks on URL which contains phishing domain registered by an attacker, the DNS request is sent to DNS server, where it is resolved to appropriate IP address of the server where the fake web page is hosted. And then a victim can see this fake web page in the browser. In order to shut down this attack, so one way we can remove DNS records from the DNS server. Another way, we can actually get the IP easily. For example, pinging the domain name, we will get IP address, and we can send abuse report to ISP, Internet Service Provider, and say, okay, the server that use your IP address that belongs to your subnet hosts phishing web page, which is of course illegal, and it's a criminal activity. And ISP provider should block this IP address and shut down the server if it hosts the server. So it's easy to shut down. Therefore, traditional attack leaves not much time. Rockfish attack has, you can see in the middle between DNS server and backend server, a pool of proxy bots. Those proxy bots are taken from botnet. So botnet is a network of infected computers, of zombie computers, that are mastered by an attacker. And the botnet can be used for different purposes. For example, to send spam, to organize the distributed denial of service attack to some server, and also to work as a proxy servers. And they can be used in phishing attacks. In such case, if I want to shut down attack, one way I can remove DNS records from the server. Another, when I resolve the domain name, I can get IP address, and I can shut down this server that is associated with the IP address. But the server will be proxy server, not the server that hosts the web page. And with another request, the DNS server will return me or user IP address of another proxy bot, and I need to shut down it again. So the attack will last until we shut down all proxy servers. So there will be no way to reach backend server with the phishing web page. And the number of proxy bots can be rather high, because botnets can reach like around 5 million. And fast looks, the difference between Rockfish and fast looks that the pool of proxy bots is dynamic. It means when we shut down one proxy bot, instead of this proxy, we'll have another one. And as I said, the number of proxy bots that can substitute shut down proxy servers is very big, because the botnets can count like up to 10 millions of infected computers. Of course, in such way, it's much easier to remove DNS record. The thing how actually DNS requests can return different IP addresses is because DNS records on the server has 0 time to live, which means these DNS records will not be cached on lower level DNS servers. So attackers will rewrite the DNS record on the root server and put new IP address like every second or every several seconds. So every time you try to get the IP for the phishing domain, you will get new IP address. That's how it works. And of course, it's not possible to shut down like a million of proxy bots that can be owned by the bot master, but still it's possible to work with DNS service provider. Another threat is URL shortener. Attackers create shortener for phishing domain and say, okay, this is the link to some legitimate service. Please, for example, enter your login passwords to access your account. And when you click, you don't see actually what is behind this short URL. And of course, this may lead you to phishing URL. So you don't know before to which URL this short URL refers to. By the way, there is a good movie. It is called Untraceable, and it explains how FBI agent Jennifer Marsh fights against maniac who runs online website, which is called killwithme.com. So the more visitors the website has, the more poison the victim gets. He started with kitten, and later he switched to humans. And this FBI agent tries to investigate and find out, okay, who is behind this website, who is the owner of this, and they try to get, they got IP address based on this killwithme.com domain. Then they shut down the server, and then they enter the website again, and the website is still alive because they just switched to another proxy bot, which is intermediate node in this chain. And so I highly recommend, because it shows examples of real fast looks phishing attack. So another question, is it possible that phishing URL has secure connection, HTTPS? I have a video for you, another example. So you didn't see it, I hope. So I found a phishing URL which starts from HTTPS. You can see Fish Tank phishing aggregator. This is an online service, very popular, where you can submit your phishing URL, and once it's proved as phishing, so it will be shared with the security vendors, and it's blocked in your browsers, because browser has this security feature to block phishing URLs, as well as antiviruses. If you install, they have also web antivirus modules that can block access to phishing URLs. So this is how it looks like. So it shows in the embedded frame, they can show you the original website, and you can see the address of the phishing website is paypal2.godaddysite.com. So another service which you can use to identify phishing URLs is VirusTotal. You can submit suspicious URL to figure out, okay, if this is detected by antivirus. As you can see, there are 10 detects out of 60-something. Also, in PhishTank and as well on VirusTotal, you can find who is information. This is information about domain, who is owner of the domain. And also you can just click on the link and see the digital certificate available for this website. And if we compare, so we can see that the original PayPal website certificate is issued to paypal.com, and the fake was issued to GoDaddySites.com. So GoDaddySites.com is just a platform for web pages, and PayPal.2 is a subdomain which uses this generic certificate for GoDaddySites.com. Then we can, for example, when we investigate phishing attack, we can, by domain name, we can get IP address, and we can use this IP address to locate the server. And as you can see, this is some data sources probably that belongs to GoDaddy sites, which is in Phoenix, nearby Phoenix in Arizona in the United States. Of course, this is not some hacker's web server. This is supposedly data center that is run by GoDaddy sites. Another investigation that we can perform is to see the DNS record. I'm access the DNS record type A, and I can see that, for example, TTL, time to live, here is 13 seconds, which means it doesn't use fast-looks attacks, but there is no sense to use such attacks because the phishing website is hosted on legitimate GoDaddySites.com platform, web page platform. So yes, it's possible to see HTTPS protocol in phishing URLs because one way they can use like a generic certificate that are issued to the high-level domain GoDaddySites.com, but also to all subdomains. We can see this asterisk.godaddysites.com, which means this certificate can apply to every web page or to every subdomain hosted by GoDaddySites.com. Another thing is criminals can request their own digital certificate. It's not a big deal, and recently we saw LockerGoga attack. It's a ransomware attack that successfully compromised Norwegian aluminium manufacturer called Norsk Hydra. This is a big enterprise that has 35,000 employees and has offices in 30 countries. It's very big, and it was compromised because the ransomware had a certificate that was issued by Sectiga Security Authority. It's a former Accomoda Security, and because of this valid digital certificate that was used to sign ransomware malicious program, supposedly this file was missed by antiviruses and other security solutions because they see, okay, this is a file that has digital signature. Supposedly it's something legitimate. The same for phishing URLs. So criminals can register digital certificate because there is no stringent verification process for issuing digital certificates, so even criminals can register it for fake companies. So be careful, even though you see HTTPS in your address bar, check your URL, because by URL you can recognize the difference between original and phishing URLs. So I think it's clear. I just wanted to refresh you this type of cyber attack. I think it's this lecture has two purposes. One is your personal security awareness, so you don't fall a victim of such phishing attack. And the second, when it comes to, for example, to development of detection methods, which is the topic of our course, you know what parameters you can analyze and how to make your decision based on these parameters. How to create algorithm, artificial intelligence that will make a decision based on the attributes such as geographic location, register, URL, lifetime, creation date of the domain, and the expiration date of the domain. So, okay, that's all. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time.